Welcome back. In our last video, we made these slotted pieces for our Stabile sculpture. And in this video, we're going to learn how to put in the yarn pieces that kind of hang on there and give it an extra kind of contrast between the warm and the cool. So if I take one of these slotted pieces off to show you, you can kind of see how I've made a knot in one end, and then I've pulled it through and just left part of that dangling so that it's off the ground and it's not resting on the ground. So to show you what to do, number one, you're going to choose the cool colors or the warm colors depending on what colors your extra little slotted piece are. So on the side of the room I have these three these yarn dispensers. The one has cool, green, blue, and purple, and the other one has the warm, red, orange, and yellow. Inside here, all you have to do is you pull the yarn out to however much you need. Get a nice long piece so that you don't have to go back 4 or 5 times, and then you can make more than one piece when you get back to your seat. To cut it, pull down here and leave a little tail coming out so that the next person has something to pull. Don't cut right next to the hole, because then the little piece of yarn falls back in and it's really hard to get out. Okay, so you're going to start with a piece of string, and you're going to take it and kind of double it up so there's 2 pieces. Then you're going to pinch it and you're going to wrap it around your finger until you make an X, like this. Right there you can see the X on the front of my finger. And then this little piece goes back through where your finger comes out. So this little piece comes back underneath and up through. Now if you're clever about this, you can kind of cinch it up so that there's not very much of a loop there. But why I want you to double it up is so that the knot is big enough and doesn't come back through the hole once you poke through. Then you're going to take the little piece of the little slot piece off your sculpture, okay? And you're going to need what's called a yarn needle. It looks like this. It's got a very large eye on it to accommodate the piece of yarn. Then just take the piece of yarn, kind of twist it in your fingers, and then slide it through the eye of the needle. This is called the eye of the needle, and you just slide it right through the eye of the needle. It doesn't have to be perfect, but try to get it through like that. If you need to, you can put a little glue on the end, just a teeny little dribble of glue, and twist it. That'll help the yarn stick better. Then I'll show you how to do that right now. You can get one of your little glue bottles, and if you just put a little bit of glue on your finger, okay, there's a little dribble of glue. If you just dab a little bit on your finger and put it on the end and kind of twist it, okay, and then wipe your hand on a paper towel. That'll help keep the little bristles or little pieces of yarn together so that when you put it through the eye, it's much easier to get through. Okay, then you don't even have to pull it all the way down to the knot, but then you just take your needle and simply poke it through. Make sure to move your fingers through the other side, off the other side, so you're not poking yourself. But just poke it through, pull the needle all the way through, and then if you hold on to the knot with your thumb and pull with your needle, it'll bring that piece all the way through. Then just trim off the little ends here, like that, and you've got your piece. Okay, and that's ready to be hung on there. Now I've got 3 more already prepared here, or sorry, 2 more, and I'm just going to slide these through so I can finish this piece off. So again, sliding it through the eye of the needle, poking it in through, and pulling it. So there's my second piece, and my third piece goes like this. Okay, then when you're done with that, you can slide it back onto the slot for your sculpture, like that. And then it should hang down. If you get to a point like right over on this side, if I tilt the camera again. Over here on this side, it's hanging down onto the ground. Simply cut those so that they're not hanging onto the table or the ground or whatever, because it's kind of doesn't look quite as dynamic or interesting. So there you go. Now that they're all different lengths and they're kind of hanging out there, that looks more interesting. So what you're going to do is you have 6 pieces on your sculpture. 4 of them you're going to put the strings onto. The other 2, this one down here and the other one on the other side, I did not put anything on. If you wish, if you want to, you can, but the minimum is putting it on 4 of the pieces. Your 2 cool pieces and 2 of your warm pieces, and that other extra piece you can just leave. Okay, so depending on what you've got, you can put 3 strings on, 2 strings on. I'd say the minimum would be 2, the maximum would be maybe 4. You don't want too many pieces on there. And this only goes on the hanging slot pieces, not the main sculpture body. Okay, and that's how to finish the slotted string pieces for your Alexander Calder Stabile project.